Egypt has been known as the most ancient center of civilization, art, and culture. Throughout history, during the Pharaonic, Greco-Roman, Coptic, and Islamic periods, even during times of invasion, art has operated as a common denominator. The constant expression through art has remained an inherent trait of Egypt and its inhabitants. The Grand Egyptian Museum is conceived to be an exemplary of manifestation of this trait, exhibiting civilization with all its dynamics, the land of kingship and state, daily life, religion, and knowledge. A dream that came to reality to have such a great museum in Egypt with a great mission, not only to Egypt, but to the entire world. The mission of the museum is to preserve, document, conserve, research, exhibit its collections, and educate, in addition to the entertainment of its visitors, whether adults or children. For more about this huge project, we met with the General Director of the Grand Museum of Egypt to know more about the museum and what it displays.
First of all, Dr. Tore, it's a pleasure to have you with us on the show and talking about the Grand Egyptian Museum. that first of all, before we talk about anything, I believe that this museum will change the concept of museums in the whole region.
Of course, this is the Grand Egyptian Museum is being built to be the museum of the 21st century. We have chosen a new approach for displaying the objects, concentrating more on the context than on the objects themselves. So the object is not seen as one-star artifact, but it is the context that counts more. Stories are being told. The visitor is inspired immediately, visually, to understand the whole story, to get a general idea, and then he is encouraged to go into details as much as he would himself like. So the visitor himself becomes the thermometer who knows how much he wants to know about a certain subject.
So the idea, it can be, or it is actually the world hub when it comes to ancient culture, civilization, starting from the old kingdom till the modern age, right?
No, actually it is a hub for ancient Egypt,
Okay.
from prehistory until the Greco-Roman period, stopping just before the Byzantine period in Egypt. It will be the largest museum in the world presenting one civilization, namely the ancient Egyptian civilization, on an area of more than 60,000 square meters. This is a huge exhibition area, and it allows for the priceless artifacts to be shown in ample space for the visitor to really enjoy and to understand what these pieces are standing for, what their original function was, and how they reflect ancient Egypt.
The structure of the museum also is completely different, unique, and has something actually. When it comes to the structure, we're not only talking about museum, just as you mentioned, we can see that you have different plans, we have different halls, even children, they have their own share in a very creative and new technique. Just I want to take an idea about the whole structure of the museum in general.
Today, in order to be able to sustain such a huge building complex, it is not enough anymore only to present objects in a showroom, but it must become a complete experience. So the building complex of the Grand Egyptian Museum has, beside the museum itself, also a conference center which can house up to 1,000 participants of a conference. It has a 3D cinema which can take up to 500 viewers. It has a commercial area with 7 restaurants and a number of shops. And you have a huge area of landscape where people can enjoy plants as they were in ancient Egypt. They can enjoy fountains. So
We are talking about the gardens, because I know
gardens.
we have another important part that is related actually to the gardens on its own.
Well, exactly. But talking about all of these aspects, for instance, Tutankhamun is displayed on 7,000 square meters. The area for education of children is another 7,000 square meters beside the gardens. So the children will enjoy having the gardens. At the same time, there are very big rooms prepared for them, not just only for museum education, but also to raise the public awareness about ancient Egypt, to raise the public awareness of the Egyptian people about their roots, and we think that this will help in the future for the next generations to really know how to value their heritage, and that they will become the real shield to protect this heritage.
Talking also about the part that is related to the special needs, I think this is something that is completely different as well.
The Grand Egyptian Museum complies with all the guidelines of the international organizations that are concerned with museums. Of course, the ICOM is one of the main, and accessibility is nowadays a must in any modern museum. So making the whole display area accessible for people with special needs is a very important aspect for us. Of course, there are different kinds of special needs for people with wheelchairs, for people who have disability in seeing or in hearing. All of these disabilities, there are aspects in the exhibition which allow them also to enjoy the main aspects of the exhibition.
Talking about the trends or techniques when it comes to the display of the objects and that we have, I mean the chronological order. Tell us more about it. How is it going to be? And especially, we all know that also we have the lighting system. It has to be different, has to be special. And the way you are displaying the halls itself, can you just give us an idea? We all feel that we are dreaming one day that you say tomorrow you can come to visit the Grand Egyptian Museum.
Well,
it's a dream to all of us.
The dream is coming nearer and nearer. We will be opening, inshallah, at latest the beginning of 2018. And the museum benefits from new technologies. So in the past, we would be very careful with lighting the objects because there was certain heat coming from the bulbs and so on. Today we are lucky with LCD lighting that this is cold light, and we can do a lot with light. So the visitors will enjoy a fantastic use of light to make the pieces even more appealing and interesting. At the same time, the objects will be shown in whole stories, and we made it difficult for ourselves because it's much easier to present one object beside the other in chronological order. But it becomes more difficult when you want to have stories, one story behind the other, also in chronological order. But I think this will make it much more interesting for the different ages and the different of visitors that we are addressing. So we'll be addressing all different needs, all different ages. We will be addressing the Egyptian people. We will be addressing our foreign guests. So there are several levels of information that is provided for each exhibition area.
Whenever we talk about this museum, we feel that this is the exact meaning of museums, and this is the most important part. The museum is not only a place to show monuments or pieces, but also from what we are talking about, we can see the educational side, the children. You are satisfying the needs of all people in general, and talking about the education itself and providing the conferences, right?
Of course, children start learning about ancient Egypt early on in school. We will be urging to complement their school program about history and to provide it in a modern interaction that is interesting for them, and we will be talking to them in the language of their time. So today, apps and internet and games, this is their life, and we will be going into their world, entering their world in order for them to get interested in their fantastic past. At the same time, the museum, we hope, will turn into a kind of social meeting point, a place where Egyptians can meet and interact with their foreign guests at a time where the world is drifting apart and conflicts are all over the world. It becomes more and more important to concentrate again on things that are common to us as our common humankind heritage. So this is a chance for this to be also a message of peace to the world, a place where people meet, and then having a conference center directly attached to the museum, I think is a very good possibility to have fantastic events there which show that Egypt is protecting its part of humankind heritage.
The museum will host a great number, of course, of artifacts and monuments. Just tell us more about it, and what we understood that some of these actually pieces, they are shown for the first time. In addition to the Tutankhamun, of course.
The total number of artifacts that will be displayed at the Grand Egyptian Museum is 50,000 objects. 30,000 of them have never been on display before. And there is no other museum that can really claim that it opens with 30,000 objects that have never been on display before from an old civilization like the ancient Egyptian civilization. On the other hand, beside these 50,000 objects that will be on permanent display, there are another 50,000 objects in accessible storage, which will be easily accessible for researchers and Egyptologists and scientists. So the Grand Egyptian Museum turns also into a scientific academic institution where Egyptology can be practiced in an international fantastic way. So a total of 100,000 objects at the Grand Egyptian Museum, 5,000 Tutankhamun, and for the first time Tutankhamun will be displayed as the complete Tutankhamun, which means until now only about a third of what was covered in the tomb of Tutankhamun was on display in the Egyptian Museum at Tahrir. But for the first time we will display everything that was discovered inside the tomb, and by doing this Tutankhamun will appear in a totally new light, moving away a little from him only being the golden pharaoh, but also shedding some light on Tutankhamun as a human being, shedding light on the religious, on the political, on the social background of the king and of his era, and very interestingly showing a very interesting insight into the lifestyle of the royal family in the 18th dynasty.
Well, definitely whenever we go or whenever we talk about ancient Egypt or the pieces found, people immediately, they talk about Tutankhamun, and again, because of all the belongings that he's lucky because we found all of the belongings actually and didn't happen with another pharaoh. But do you think we have some other important pieces? You can just give us an idea about it in general.
Tutankhamun is the magnet.
So he's going to be the dominating again.
Of course, because if you go anywhere in the world, people know who Tutankhamun is.
Yes.
They know the mask of Tutankhamun, so he will remain to be a star also inside the Grand Egyptian Museum. But beside, for instance, we will be showing the complete collection of Queen Hetep Heres, who was the mother of King Khufu, who built the Great Pyramid in Giza. And actually I insisted for this collection to be part of the exhibition of the Grand Egyptian Museum, because for the first time this collection will be overlooking its original place of discovery. So people will be looking at the collection and through the facade looking over the place of discovery near the Grand Pyramid of Khufu. Also, we will be showing for the first time parts of the temple of King Snefru, also the father of King Khufu. New complete collections from tombs of high officials from the Old Kingdom, especially from the 5th dynasty. In the New Kingdom, pieces from Saqqara, from the necropolis of the high officials from King Ramses II, to be shown for the first time. So there are a lot of surprises that will be awaiting the visitor coming to the Grand Egyptian Museum. He will see whole new aspects from ancient Egypt shown in an innovative and different way than most museums in the world, which have dealt with ancient Egyptian objects mainly as pieces reflecting history of art. But we will reflect through this museum the whole society, the whole religion, the whole beliefs of ancient Egypt through the magnificent pieces that remain from ancient Egypt.
Actually, you just mentioned something that is also very, very important, talking about the location, very close to the Giza Pyramids Plateau, as you mentioned, and the design of the structure as well. Because we're talking about, I think this place is going to be the first environmental structure, right? It's completely different, even the lighting, the facade, as you mentioned, all of this. Wrong or right?
The museum is located at a very fine location, overlooking the great three pyramids of Giza, and the galleries have been elevated to the third level inside the building, so that the exhibition galleries are at the same level of the pyramids. So when you're standing in the galleries,
So it's the eye level with the
you are in
yes.
eye level with the pyramids, and the whole building has been set very well to fit the environment beside it. The facade is inspired by the pyramids, so you don't feel that the building will be odd in the environment, but actually it will be a new landmark which is added actually in the Memphite necropolis. The ancient Egyptians built the pyramids of Giza, which are the only remaining wonders of the seven old wonders of the world, and Egypt is building here a new wonder of modern times, which is the Pyramid of Modernity, the Grand Egyptian Museum.
You know, just after this conversation, let me tell you that I believe not only me, but all of our viewers, anyone who have read or heard about the Grand Egyptian Museum, just it is a dream that one day we feel that yes, we can go, we can enjoy a trip that I'm sure that you will never experience elsewhere but in Egypt.
The dream, as I said, is coming true. Already 40,000 objects have reached the conservation center, which is attached to the Grand Egyptian Museum. 30,000 of them are ready for display. We are working 7 days a week in order to achieve this fantastic new landmark in Egypt. It will be something for Egypt and Egyptians to be proud about, and something for us to gladly share with the world, share the glory of our ancestors in a beautiful building built by the Egyptians of today.
Dr. Tarek Tawfiq, General Manager of the Grand Egyptian Museum, thank you very much for joining us.
It was our pleasure.
هم الأسود حين تذود عن الحدود، فمن يكونون وإلى أي جيش ينتمون؟ إلى جيش مصر، فمن هو جيش مصر؟ هو أقدم الجيوش وأعرقها، وأسطورة المعارك في كل العصور والأزمان.
الجيش المصري ده أسطورة وطنية، زي ما بقول كده، أسطورة وطنية.
فمصر العريقة تستحق أن يبذل من أجلها الغالي والنفيس. فتحيا مصر، تحيا مصر، تحيا مصر.
ولا زمن العوالم. ازاي بقى حالنا كده يصعب عالكافر، ازاي بقى كده يصعب عالكافر، وكل رسمالنا ما تجيب لي من الاخر، ونغني مهرجانات من بعد يمسى، ونغني مهرجانات من بعد يمسى. طلع كفيف مصر ومفتحين عينينا. وقربنا بأمله وبقينا نستاهل، بنعلي في المجنون ونوطي في العالم، وكل شيء مقلوب والكل خلف الدور. يا عمي مش محسوب يا حلو طعم المر، وكل شيء مقلوب والكل خلف الدور. يا عمي مش محسوب يا حلو طعم المر. احلم ولو ما تكون برضك هتفضل حر. ازاي بقى حالنا كده يصعب عالكافر، ازاي بقى كده يصعب عالكافر، وكل رسمالنا ما تجيب لي من الاخر، بنغني مهرجانات من بعد يمسى، ونغني مهرجانات من بعد يمسى. طاق خفيف مبصر ومفتحين عميان.
بعد اذنك هات الشنطه.
ما حدش هيفتش الشنطه.
هات الشنطة
ما فيهاش
منها.
حاجه. ما تفتشها ليه؟ ما فيهاش حاجه. الشنطه ما فيهاش حاجه. هتفتشها ليه؟ ما فيهاش حاجه
يا ستي لو ما فيهاش حاجه
مش عارف تسيب الشنطه. ما فيهاش حاجه
يا ام علي بعد
والله.
اذنك يا ام علي. الله اتفضل يا باشا.
مفيش حاجه، دي بواقي سندوتشات همبرجر، يعني مفيش داعي للي انت عملتيه ده كله يا حاج.
ليه يا أم؟ ليه تقطي من رجلين الناس وتلمي في فضلات؟ احنا مش قاعدين للدرجات دي يا أم. ليه بتعملي كده؟
خلاص يا ابني، خلاص مش هعمل كده تاني.
وجالك قلب يا أم؟ ها؟ جالك قلب تاكل ابنك اكل من تراب؟
لا يا حبيبي، لا، ما فيهوش تراب. انا كنت بنضفه، واللي كان فيه تراب كنت بسيبه.
وعشتي بايه كل ده؟ يا أم اتورثت عمايا يا أم، ورثت عمايا نجد انا وانت يا ابويا ونعمة ربنا.
حبيبي بقى احنا مزنوقين وعلينا جماعية. هو ابوك زي ما انت شايف قال علينا، وكمان مش سايبنا في حالنا.
من هنا رايح فلوس الجامعة دي مالكيش دعوة بيها، انا اللي هدفعها، وشغل مش الشغل، خلاص على كده.
خلاص يا حبيبي، ايدي على كتفك، انا هقعد من الشغل، بس انت بقى ابقى سد على مصاريف البيت ومصاريف ابوك.
ماشي، وده الاخر تسيبهولي؟
لا لا يا علي، اوعى تزعله يا حبيبي، فاهم؟ ده مهما كان برضه ابوك، واللي يزعله يزعلني يا علي. عشان ربنا ما يغضبش عليك يا ضنايا. ما هو كمان يا ضنايا مش بإيده. بص يا علي، أنا مش هعمل كده تاني. بس انتوا بقى يا حبيبي تبقوا تاكلوا اللي موجود، وما تقعدوش تتنقوروا على كل لقمة بعملها لكم. بعمل لكم بقى فول نابت، فول بالقوطة، فول بالقرد حتى. تاكلوا خلاص. فاهم يا علي؟
ماشي اهو، بس بصي اما مش مرة اشوفك بتاخدي بقشيش ومرة تانية اشوفك ممسوكة بتلمس نقطة على بقى. خلاص يما انا بني ادم وانتم ولا حاجة مش هتطلع من دماغي طول عمري.
خلاص والله ما هعمل كده تاني ابدا.
طب خلاص، طب ما تعطيش، خلاص النبي والنبي يابا. والنبي ما تعطي، خلاص بقى ياما الناس هتلم علينا. خلاص وربنا مش متضايق.
حقك عليا يا ضنايا،
خلاص يلا بقى عشان تعمل لنا فول بالقرد. يلا قوم.